Good morning and welcome to our class today. This morning, I want us to look at the transportation model. As you can see from the question, we have three manufacturing plants and we also have three warehouses. The manufacturing plants are M1, M2, and M3, from where we are transporting our items from. And then we also have warehouse 1, warehouse 2, and warehouse 3, to where we are taking the products from the manufacturing plants M1, M2, M3. The capacities from M1, M2, M3 are 600, 300, 100, and that totaling to 1000 units. At the same time, we also have the capacities for warehouse 1, warehouse 2, and warehouse 3 as 300, 400, and 300 respectively, and also totaling to 1000 units. The requirement for the question is to assign the transportation from quantities from M1, M2, M3 to the warehouses W1, W2, W3 at the lowest cost of transportation, and that is transportation minimization model. When met with such a question, the first thing to look at is to look at the transportation costs, which are 2, 3, and 1 for transporting from manufacturing plant 1 to W1 and W2 and W3 respectively. And we also have the same cost of transport from M2, which is 4 up to W1, 6 shillings from M2 to W2, and 7 shillings from M2 to W3. Similarly, we also have the cost of transportation from M3 to W1 being 10 shillings, from M3 to W2 being 8 shillings, and from M3 to W3 being 5 shillings. The solution that we're going to look at is, first of all, we look at the lowest cost amongst the 2, 3, 1, 7, 6, 4, 7, 8, 5. Look at the smallest number in this table and find that number is 1. Therefore, the lowest cost of transporting from M1 to W3 is 1 shilling. Looking at the capacity for W3, warehouse 3 has a total capacity of 300, but the capacity of production for M1 is 600. Therefore, we shall now assign the 300, we shall transport 300 from M1 to W3 at 1 shilling. 300. And because the capacity for W3 has been filled, we shall now cancel the W3. Right? And then we shall look at the capacity for M1. Because we have already taken 300 from 600, we shall therefore cancel out 600 and write the balance as 300 from the manufacturing plant 1. The next step we shall do is look at the lowest, again looking at the lowest cost, and that is from the table. We can see the lowest cost again is 2. Therefore, that is transportation of materials from M1 to W1. And therefore, looking at the capacity of M1, we have a balance of 300. And therefore, we also look at the capacity of W1 being 300 again. And so we shall assign the balance of 300 from M1 to W1. Having done that, you can now see for M1, the capacity from M1 has been assigned. We have taken the M1 300 to W1, and we have also taken 300 units from M1 to W3. And so the units that were remaining for M1 have already been taken by W1, and therefore we cancel 300, meaning that the capacity from M1 has already been transported from M1 to W1 and also to W3 respectively. Therefore, we also cancel the M1 to throughout so that we make sure we only have M2 and M3 remaining, and the numbers we are seeing are 4, 6, 10, and 8. Therefore, again, considering the lowest number we see from M2, the lowest number we can see is from M2 up to W1. But then at the same time, we also see that W1 has already failed its capacity because we have assigned 300 units from M1, and therefore, because the capacity for W1 was 300, the W1, the warehouse one, has already been filled up, and so we cancel out this W1 column. We have remained with 6 and 8. 6 and 8, that is now transportation from M2 to W2 and from M3 to W2. Right. Now let's look at the lowest number. Again, we have 6 and 8. And so looking at the capacity for M2 being 300 and the capacity for W3 being 400, we want to transport from M2, we shall take from M2 transport to W2 at the cost of 6 shillings. The capacity that we can transport is only 300 because capacity of production from M2 is only 300. So we give the total of the production from M2 to the W2, and that is 300 units. Having done that, you can see the capacity for production from M2 has already been achieved, and so we cancel out M2 because there is no more production from M2 that is expected. Now we only remain with the production, that's the M3, the manufacturing plant M3, and the transportation to W2. The M3 transportation to W2 will cost us 8 shillings. Now, once again, looking at the capacity of M3, it's only 100 shillings, 100 units, and therefore if we're going to assign the 100 units from M3 to W2, we shall have consumed the total capacity of M3, and therefore by assigning the 100 to W2, you find that we have already cleared the production for M3 and we cancel out once more. Therefore, we have already given every other production capacity to the respective smallest costs of transportation from up to warehouse 1, warehouse 2, and warehouse 3. If we want to confirm, we can look at the production of M1 to W3 300, and the capacity for W3 is 300, and that has already been cancelled. Right. Once again, for warehouse 2, we have found 300 units from M2 and 100 units from M3, and for the total of 400 has been fulfilled. So the capacity for W2 has been filled by 300 units from M2 and 100 units from M3, and the total capacity has already been cleared by those two production sources. Once again, looking at W1, we see W1 has received capacity of 300 from M1, and again that fills up the capacity for W1 because the capacity for W1 was 300 and that has been filled from production from M1. Now, having done that assignment, the question that follows from the examiner's mind is now to find the total cost of transportation, and that will be found by multiplying the 2 shillings times the 300, right? And then we also add the 6 shillings times the 300 and the 8 times the 100. That would give us a total cost of transportation from the M1, M2, M3 up to W1, W2, W3. Looking at our sources, look at the M1 to W1, the cost is 2 shillings and we transported 300 units. Once again, to W2, we have the cost of 6 shillings and transporting 300 units. And again, the cost of 8 shillings from M3 to W2, we are transporting 100 units. Therefore, the total cost of transportation would be given by those three. And we also remember we have some transportation from M1 to W3 of 1 shilling. 1 shilling times 300. So we shall take the total to be the 2 times 300, which is now 600. Again, we have 6 times 300, and that is 1800. Then we have 8 times 100, and that is 800. Then we also have 1 times 300, which is now 300 shillings. This is 2400. Total is 2400 plus 8, that is 3200, plus 3, that is now 3500 shillings. So therefore, the total cost of transportation from M1 to M2, M2 to M3, M3 to M1 will give us the total cost as 3,500 shillings. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.